Hi guys, I'm Trashy. Today I'm going to be talking about taking apart your L96, fixing the issues with the hop-up and also how to take your trigger box apart. So just to let you guys know, the gun has no magazine in and also the gun's unsafe. So before you go through with my tutorial, just a quick note, this is how I fixed my problem. It's been consistent with me for the last 1,000 odd shots and I continue firing the gun as regularly as I can, and the fix that I've done has actually managed to hold up to all of that, including the pressure of the fact that I've got a high powered spring in here and I'm using heavyweight BBs. So I've moved to these are Magpul 4.0 precision BBs, and so far they've been fantastic. I've also got a few more upgrades that I'm going to be putting into the gun whilst doing this video. So what I want you to do, take your gun to a safe shooting environment. If you've got a bipod, then that would be even better for this test, but if not, just make sure your gun's on as level ground as possible and you're shooting from a very comfortable solid platform. What helps with these kind of tests beforehand, before I'm going to make any modifications to the gun, I always try and do 10 perfect test shots that are as good as in the same place, and then all I'm doing then is diagnosing where the BB goes. So I use one of these. This is a mini decorator's level. What I do is I take the top turret cap off of my scope, get the gun as level as possible, and then I just use this to make sure it's absolutely perfect. I then line up my vertical line in my reticle with a wall or the shed or anything that you've got that's visibly going to make sure that you're keeping that that vertical line in the same place for every single shot. Once you've done that, record your shots down on a piece of paper. So the issue that I had with mine originally is that it would get to about 30 to 50 metres and then instantly curve off to one side. Now I found that what the issue is that the hop-up is sitting unlevel when it's putting pressure on the BB. So that both sides are putting pressure on, but one is putting more pressure on the other. So as the BB begins to decelerate, the side that's had more pressure on it is then spinning and curving off to one side. So record your results down, make sure that you're shooting from a very level platform, and then look at the average. I mean, with mine it was consistent. Every single shot that fired from my gun would curve off to the left hand side. Let's see if yours is the same. So what I'm going to do now is do a basic breakdown of the gun, and then when I get to the hop-up section of the video, I will actually show you the fixes that I've done to actually correct that amount of spin that's been applied to the BB. Alright guys, right, so this is going to be the first stage of taking apart your L96. Now if you haven't done this before, there is instructions that come with the gun, but I will show you exactly how to take it apart, and then the best thing to do is go through with the modifications that I've created with mine, and then just watch this back and do exactly the same in reverse. To be completely honest, it's a very simple process. So if your L96 come the same as mine, it came with the scope and the bipod. Now the best way of removing the bipod is to not actually take it off the mount, but to remove the mount itself. Just under here there's a small push button, and when it depresses you should be able to simply slide out the bipod. Now that the bipod's removed, you're left with just the gun. You can actually notice that it's considerably lighter. With your kit you should have received one large Allen key. With this Allen key there should be a small hole just behind your mag well. Insert the Allen key into there. Now tightening these is something that I hear mentioned a lot in videos, especially around the L96, and you see guys really over tightening these. Seating the barrel into the gun itself, this is only ABS plastic, it's not going to hold up to massive amounts of tension, so I do it just finger tight, not tight loose enough so that it's going to come undone, but I do it to the point where I'm not putting overly amount of pressure into that bolt. So as you can see from doing that, it means that they undo quickly, you don't get any issues with threading, light amount of pressure. Now, once you've undone these two bolts, you'll find that the upper receiver will actually remove from the lower receiver. Now, I don't actually remove my scope while doing this process, because this mounting to the rail, if you're going to move positions, will actually change the zero of your scope. Once you've done all these modifications, you should quickly be able to refine the zero of your scope to get it back shooting on target again. So, with a light pull, you'll now have your lower receiver and upper receiver apart. Now I have a large silencer on the end of mine, so what I do is just very very lightly drop this down. This is actually quite a delicate part of the gun, and it's something that I like to be very careful with, especially for the fact that the trigger box is on the bottom. So I'll show you guys just how to remove the silencer if you've got one, or it's just break on. So that's the silencer removed, and now we're down to the barrel, where your bolt and locking mechanism is, and the trigger box. So the best thing to do from here, depending on what you want to take apart. Now I try to remove my trigger box as you know, very few times as possible. It's been very consistent with me, and it has been one of those things that I don't really like to mess around with too much, but I will take it apart, show you guys exactly what's in there. It's nothing to be afraid of, and if you do any crunching, you get any dirt in there, something that can be really easily cleaned. So let's go ahead and remove the trigger box. What I'd want you to do is, there's this pin here that locks the bolt into place. So what I want to do is just give it a bit of a pull, and it will come away like that. Once you've got that removed, place that down somewhere safe. Get a Phillips screwdriver, and there should be one screw at the end. Again, you know, don't over tighten these. They're probably going to cause you more trouble from over tightening than you will from having them, you know, under tighten. Just a small amount of pressure, and you should be able to remove these quite simply. So just trying to hold this and make sure it doesn't fall anywhere. And there we go. So this is the trigger mechanism removed. Let's put that to one side so we can take that apart a little bit further on in the video. So now we're left with the bolt and mechanism and the barrel. So you might find that some of you actually have this grub screw in here that holds the barrel into place, and some of you might not. Mine actually didn't come with one, but I actually found a replacement that just holds the barrel fairly secure and into place. What I'm going to do now is change camera angles so that you can see this a little bit closer up, and we'll go into a more detailed breakdown.